Okay, cool. So you guys know how this works. We're only going to be doing about 30 minutes because I'm super tired. It's right now 1:23 a.m. As you know, I work all day as a Social Security disability attorney, but today was Jimmy Carter's official federal holiday because he passed away. And still, there were just lots and lots and an unbelievable amount of people who called into law firms. So I was kind of getting those while the staff was, for the most part, off today, other than one person. So bottom line is this. I'm going to be doing this show. You know how it works. Have your legal question ready right up front. No story mode. Don't stack questions up. Just have your question ready to roll. Please remember to use a fake name throughout this process. We won't be able to go super deep. It's just basic top line information, not super deep legal information. So, if you're going to rely on it to win the world, good luck. That's on you. That's your thing. And then at the same time, we will be answering calls directly from this phone. So we've done the show many times. Most of you know the basics of how it works. You dial the 407-279-1754 phone number. That's the law firm phone number, 407-279-1754 phone number. And bottom line is we're going to be doing a half an hour starting now at 1:24 a.m. on January 10th. I normally go live and do these on Mondays and Thursdays. So people will start coming in. I'm putting the phone number to the chat section. Now, a side note, if I do help you, please consider, you don't have to, but please consider leaving a review on Google at the law firm's page. Just go to Google and type in Disability Resolution Law Firm or Disability Resolution Florida. We already have the first caller on the line. Well, on the line now. All righty, you are the first caller. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot with Disability Resolution PA. Yep, you got it. Go ahead. What is your question? Go ahead.
Okay, long time viewer, you helped me get disability. I'm a young autoimmune disease sufferer, so I appreciate the time you take to educate us, but I'll cut to the chase. So I was an RN for a long time. I ended up getting about like a $1,700 per month disability payment.
Okay.
When we go to the doctors, I know in my state, I'm asked, I don't know if it's, countrywide, like the three questions at the appointment. It's, is it workman's comp related? Is it something else related? And is it black lung? And it's always no for me. So I got a letter a few months ago saying they got information that I was claiming workman's comp. They cut my payment down to $184 a month. I've never claimed workman's comp in my life, right? I've gone down to my local office a few times. They're like, it's the federal office. I've talked to them twice. I've had my lawyer, luckily I was lucky enough that the lawyer that represented me at my second appeal, he they did call in for me. Mm-hmm. But it's been four months now, Walter, and I got that paper in on time. I got it into the office. They admitted that. They know it's their mistake. I've had two different workers. They tell me, it's their mistake. Mm-hmm. So I'm kind of at my wit's end because the bills are piling up.
Okay.
Quick.
So what you're asking me is, how do you expedite getting somebody at the SSA to work with the financial division that's paying out your SSDI benefits to get you back up to the larger amount? Yeah. Okay, cool. So couple of basic things. For this type of situation, this one is good for the regional field office to get involved. Also, to send in a notification to OIG that you believe they have made a huge error, and also go ahead and send in a congressional inquiry to your House rep and your senator. That way the House rep and senator will reach out. They'll demand a response within a certain amount of time. The regional office will kick the local field office in the booty to go ahead and get them to respond quicker to it. But the bottom line is, keep in mind, if they're working on it right now, good. But, sometimes the local field office is just overloaded. But remember, too, one of the big problems that people are seeing is that the SSA is now at a 50-year low. We suspect it will either stay at a 50-year low or actually reach down to a 60-year low. And the reason why that is that basically they just can't get enough employees. And I've seen their attempts to hire people, and it's all the wrong way. It's all like OPM website, Office of Personnel Management, or like monster.com or whatever. they need to start putting out actual money to get people to work for the SSA, and they're just kind of going at it the government way, which doesn't get people hired now. I mean, they literally need to make social media videos about working for the SSA and get it out there, because it's just not good. So, and I ask the entire channel this, and everybody that watches this video, have you ever seen an advertisement to go work for the SSA? Have you? Never. Yeah.
Never.
Yeah, I think I've seen once, but I've looked. So, yeah, but yeah. So basically, keep in mind they have a lot of people. Yeah, they don't have enough people in those offices, and a lot of the offices, they just look like big empty areas. But bottom line is this. So again, regional field office. No, what state are you based in?
I'm in Massachusetts on the South Coast.
Yeah. So remember, I think Boston. Hold on, let me see. SSA regional. I'm pretty sure Boston is your SSA regional field offices. So you're going to reach out.
Different than my local office?
Yeah. Of course. Yeah. That's the group that manages multiple states. Yeah. Yeah. Let me see. Let me see. We got here. Yeah, you're Boston Section 218 region. So if you're looking for, so you're going to look up and research and find a representative from Boston Section 218 region for SSA regional field office, and ask them to step in and assist with basically fixing this problem. And write up a mini brief that's all on one page, so it's easy for them to go through it, figure out what needs to be done, and go from there. Yeah.
Sure.
Yep.
All right. Thank you so much. You're the best.
Absolutely. You have a wonderful, wonderful night, okay?
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Perfect. So that's the first call. Let's go ahead and see if we can get... I know we missed a couple of calls there. I'm going to bring it over to the phone. We'll just wait a couple of seconds to see if somebody else calls in. But let's see. Let's go to calls that just came in. Here's one that came in. Let's get this one real quick. I'm going to put it on speakerphone. Oh, no. Oh, all right. Hold on. I'll accept this one. Right. Oh, no, wait. Wait a minute. There's too many calls here. Hi. Can you? It's not on speaker. Won't allow me on speaker. Oh no. I've screwed up all the calls. Hold on. Let me do that again. Let me do it again. It's really early in the morning. So let's see if we can get this person on the phone real quick. That way you should. Hi, good sir. Remember to use a fake name throughout this process. Attorney Walter Hnot. We are live on YouTube. What is your legal question? Go ahead.
Yes, I know a man that gets Social Security disability for about 15 years, and he's never paid taxes. Does he not have to?
No. So, I mean, if he's not having other income and his benefits are, when they always are, under a certain amount, without any additional income, then in that instance, he would not need to go ahead and pay taxes. So that would be correct. If he's not working and bringing in additional income, then he is properly not paying taxes.
Okay. And he's never checked. I hear you talk about with other people about being examined and having to go before a court or the court or a hearing board about the medical, how they're doing or what their problems are. He never gets examined or never has to have examined, any medical exam.
Sure. Yep. So the reason why that happens for some people is that their impairments are not expected to improve in any way. Another reason why is that if they were found disabled way back in the day, the rules that were set up for them were so immensely liberal towards an approval of a disability benefit claim that basically, and they have to use those original rules to adjudicate them going forward, that it just doesn't make sense to go ahead and try and adjudicate them in the modern sense using the old rules, because the old rules were hyper liberal. And you still might hear 1 out of 50,000 people say, well, if you're not really that disabled, then you won't be found disabled, but if you are disabled, you will be found disabled. You still get some people like that. They're very rare at this point, but the bottom line is people who are found disabled 15, 20 years ago, a lot of them would not pass the current standards of disability, which is sad too, because those people who were found disabled 15 to 20 years ago, they're usually kind of snotty and snobby to people seeking disability benefits nowadays. And they kind of approach them like, oh, well, I got my benefit. They're so easy. I got it in 2 months and da-da-da-da. It's a totally different program. It's way harder now to get onto the benefits. Way back in the day, you had people with mild to moderate impairments somehow working their way onto the program. So, it was a different world back then, and they're required by law to use the same rules and regulations to go ahead and basically, adjudicate people who were found disabled way back. And so in many instances, it just doesn't make sense for the SSA to spend money to investigate those people and check on them going forward. And I know the reason why you're calling. You're calling because this person clearly is doing more than his impairment should allow him to do. But the reality is some of these people are kind of quasi-grandfathered in because they were found disabled under these rules that were just hyper-liberal. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to find out, and I sure appreciate your time, and you do a wonderful job.
Thank you, good sir. You have a wonderful, wonderful night.
You too, sir. Take care now.
Thank you, good sir. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Perfect. Let's go ahead and wait for the next caller to go ahead and give us a call to get this rolling. Let's see what we've got going on. Hold on. We'll see who's going to call in next. Let's see. Watch, nobody will call in. I'll be like, sweet, I'm going to bed. Done. Now, done over. Okay, let's see. Yep, there it is. Perfect. All right, we got the next caller. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. We are live on YouTube. Remember to use a fake name throughout this process. What is your legal question? Go ahead.
Yes, Walter. I'm Steve in Georgia.
Sure.
And I'm supposed to go to a disability doctor for the first time, even though my case has been going on for about 14 months, and I'm in step 3 of DDS review. And I'm supposed to go to the first disability doctor, which a family member is going to carry me to, but I've never been to one of those, so I kind of wanted to get an idea of what should I expect, and if there's anything I should avoid, telling them or answering if they ask me and so forth, since I've never been to one of those doctors before.
Sure. So some of the basic things you've got to do is, number one, right up front, ask them what medical documentation they've received from the DDS rep, the Disability Determination Services rep. You want to know that because at the end of the day, the bottom line, very simple, very straightforward, is that sometimes these doctors, even though they're paid for and set up by the SSA, they don't actually receive documentation from DDS to the medical doctor, so they don't actually know what's going on with you. So find out right up front what medical documentation they have, which facilities they have, how far back they go, stuff like that. Just ask him, has DDS sent you my medical documentation? Then the other thing is you need to be ready to go ahead and tell them what your top 5 impairments are, when they began, when they became severe, why you believe they are severe, what are some symptoms and signs related to each one, what are your medications, their side effects, and also why you can't work your past 5 years with work. And so the bottom line with that is most people will go ahead and put those things onto a form to go ahead and outline specifically what's going on when they go in there. Sometimes they'll just give the doctor the information so the doctor can go ahead and put it, as a copy-paste formula as to what was provided by the patient. Another thing to keep in mind is they tend to be very, 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 very pro-agency, as opposed to, being pro-claimant. You want them to be pro-claimant. They're usually pro-agency. Now, I don't believe it's because the SSA is paying them so much. I mean, I'm sure there's a little of that, but I think the reality here as to why they tend to be pro-agency is because they schedule so many of them because the SSA doesn't pay them that much per review. So they got to schedule a lot of them in a short period of time. And as a result of that, they have to go ahead and basically do as many as they can. So they stack those things high. They try to get through them quickly. So the assessments don't tend to be very detailed. Now, with that said, with your particular type of impairment, you want to go ahead and know what are basically the types of evidence that they look for to go ahead and claim that you are in fact disabled. So if there's certain testimonial listing as to phrases that they're looking for, you want to be able to give that to them. If there's certain types of medical devices that they're going to be expecting, you want to be able to explain to them that you have those and who prescribed them. If there are certain types of crisis medical occurrences or, reports made by, third-party objective individuals as to you having some issue with your impairments, you want to be able to go ahead and provide those. But, that's a huge question, but, just for tonight, that's kind of your general overview as to what to expect and how to go ahead and prepare for one of those visits.
So basically, I should write a list, to carry with me as to what my 5 major impairments are and what equipment I use and what medications I take and so forth.
Correct. So you want to have the lists ready to go. That way you can hand them to the doctor. And, basically when you hand them to the doctor, explain, this is for you to use as a part of your report. And, the doctors tend to prefer that and like that because that helps them right up front know what's going on, because a lot of these doctors, unfortunately, don't receive any, actual DDS follow through with the medical documentation, or they don't send the whole file. And then what happens is they're flying blind or somewhat blind into that medical appointment. And it's much easier for them if they know right up front exactly where to start with their review of you, because the SSA through DDS will tell them, okay, we want you to look at this condition. We want you to look at that condition. But when they have a full understanding of all the other conditions, they tend to be a little bit more pro-claimant with their writings that ultimately end up in a report called the DDE, Disability Determination Explanation, which is used at the initial filing and reconsideration levels to either approve you, send you to quality control, or deny you.
And the other thing is that normally I'm married with my wife, she's already under SSDI and she doesn't drive due to her medical issues and her condition as far as mobility issues. Mm-hmm. So I'm usually the one that drives me or her if we need to go like to a grocery store or a doctor locally or something. Mm-hmm. But this doctor they're sending me to, it's like 30 miles from where we reside. So for driving that far, instead of me trying to drive out myself that day, I'm going to get a family member to carry me to that appointment.
Yeah, I mean, so, remember, another thing is if you have a difficult time driving in a vehicle, make sure you have a stop in between, and then make sure you notate that in order to get to that doctor's office with that doctor, that you had to stop 15 minutes in between to take a 5 to 10 minute break as a result of your impairments, which could be difficulty with sitting, numbness of the feet, etc.
Okay, but anyway, that's basically what I wanted to ask you, so I'd have a general idea what to expect when I go to this thing in about a couple of weeks or so. But that kind of explains it there, and I want to make sure I make a list of what the impairments are and the medications and everything, and have that with me when I arrive at their office that day.
Perfect. Sounds good, sir. I'll catch you a little bit later. You have a wonderful, wonderful night, okay?
Okay, thank you, Walter, and you too, and get some rest. Bye-bye.
Thank you, good sir. Bye-bye. Perfect, everybody. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take probably about another 2 phone calls. I am starting to have that thing where, the brain kind of turns off, and, I'm hearing words, but they're not really going and sticking to the brain matter. So I'm going to go ahead. I see I missed one right here. I'm just going to call this one back real quick. Oh, never mind. Hold on. Is it calling? I don't want to double call. With this thing. Hold on. What is going on here? Hold on. There's 3 other calls coming in. Hold on. I think I just screwed it all up. There's 3. Okay, so hold on. I'm going to try to call this phone number back. I'm going to try and put it on speaker. Hold on. Let me see if I can, because remember, there's so many calls coming. Hold on. There's so many calls coming in that. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. We are live on YouTube. Remember to use a fake name throughout this process. What is your legal question? Go ahead.
Yes, my name is Dean from Charlotte, North Carolina.
Sure.
I was calling in to ask you. Hold on, let me mute this. I was calling in to ask you. I had my daughter had got some baits from a CBD shop, okay. And I had a couple issues of I had to go to the emergency room.
Okay.
And I failed 2 drug tests inside the emergency room for the CBD vapes and
okay.
gummies.
Okay.
would that affect my disability?
Yeah, I mean, so they have computers, AI, that will go ahead and search your record and see if you fail a drug test. But that can cause, a CDR review. But again, if you wanted to go ahead and put on an SSA 795 statement, but you might want to wait to see what's going to happen with it. But I guess first thing you could do is call the SSA, find out when your next CDR review is, and then, have a clean record thereafter for any potential. But I mean, it depends on what state you live in too, because, some of that stuff is legal in different places. So.
Yeah, I'm in North Carolina.
Sure. I mean, so, yeah. So, I mean, yeah. So, but.
And there's one more question.
Yeah, go ahead.
My doctor that I've had him for years, and he just retired also. So, and I got to find a new doctor, and you know how some doctors are about disability, trying to keep you off of it. So,
yeah. Sure.
I'm curious about that too, finding a new doctor and what should I look for?
And that's a huge question. Like, that's a massive, massive question. That is a video in itself. Just to give you some basic details as to like what to look for with a doctor. Some doctors have an axe to grind specifically against those individuals who are essentially seeking benefits, because the doctors have to be at work, so they think you should have to be at work. So the main things you want to look for are doctors that are willing to fill out an RFC, doctors who basically are willing to go ahead and meet with you, in more than just every 3 to 6 months. Doctors. So one of the things too is that if you have insurance, you have to play the game with which doctors are hungry. You also have to play the game with which doctors are willing to receive payment to fill out an RFC form. You also have to see which doctors are going to open up with a bunch of requests for a bunch of, medical diagnostics. Could be an X-ray, MRI, whatever. And so as a result of that,
I forgot to tell you too. I'm sorry. I forgot to tell you too. I've been on SSDI for years, like since the '90s.
Sure.
But I was saying I had that doctor for years, and now he's retired, and I got to go look for a new one. But the CBD thing, it was only them 2 times since I got on this SSI that I messed up and tasted them and done it. And I mean, that's the only 2 drug tests I've ever failed.
I mean, what I would do, if you're looking for a different doctor, you're kind of stuck with what Medicaid can provide if you're on SSI. So you're going to want to call around. But I mean, are you in a high population area or a low population area?
I'm right outside of Charlotte, North Carolina.
So that's a high population area. So you can pick and choose who you want to go to. So you should be okay in that regard. But when it comes to failed drug tests, those do pop up and they do cause CDRs.
Even with CBD and it being legal?
If it's legal, and remember, I don't know which states it's legal and which ones it's not, because I just don't follow that stuff. But if it's legal, then it shouldn't be a problem. But marijuana's not legal here, like the marijuana and any of that stuff. But CBD is, and that's what I done with CBD vape. But in the CBD shop, they got stuff that's called THCA. Yeah,
that is legal because it don't turn into THC until you actually put heat to it, and then it turns into THC, but it's CBD while it's in the shop.
So as a result of that, how did you actually test at the end of the day?
How I what now? Excuse me?
As a result of that, how did you actually test at the end of the day?
Well, I failed like both times I had to go to emergency room. I failed, like, they put it as marijuana, but I told them it was CBD out of the CBD shop because, like I told you, I mean, it's legal. The CBD is legal around here, but he put it down as marijuana, and I told him plainly that it was CBD that I'd done, and I was being honest with him.
Yeah, but what did they put on the form?
I failed it for marijuana. THC.
But did they put marijuana?
Yes, they put THC in marijuana.
Yeah, I mean, then that's going to pop up. That's going to end up being something that bites you a little bit.
Well, could I not go back and through it with them? I mean,
when they
being CBD is so.
When they buy the medical record from that facility, it'll pop up with that. what would be best interest on your end is to try and get a prescription to use that. I mean, in your state, do they allow prescriptions for it?
No, it's dead. It's dead. I mean, they're against it.
So yeah, in that instance, it's going to pop up at some point. Just have a clean record thereafter. If you want to go ahead and do a 795 statement of the SSA explaining it, you can always send in that as well.
Okay, thank you.
You got it, sir. You have a wonderful day.
You too.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, next caller. Here we go. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. We are live on YouTube. Remember to use a fake name throughout this process. What is your legal question? Go ahead.
Legal question. Go ahead.
Oh, so real quick, the phone is having that like a feedback thing. Just go ahead and mute the computer so that we can talk through the phone. Yeah.
Oh, yes, sir, of course.
Perfect.
So, my mother is 56 years old from California. She's had 3 strokes, damage from her cerebellum, osteoarthritis in her back, knees, hips, ankles, and shoulder. All this has been documented by her physician.
Okay.
She's also diagnosed ADHD and bipolar, severe depression after the strokes and after my father's death.
Mm-hmm.
So here's my question, though. So she was approved for SSI and is currently on reconsideration for SSDI and survivor's benefits. So my question is, does being approved for SSI, does that give us, of course, from your experience, does that give her a good chance for reconsideration for the SSDI and for survivor's benefits?
So for SSDI, so the SSI and SSDI use the same medical standard, so that's a very good sign. But what they don't use is the quarters of coverage standard. That's the same thing. So what is her date last insured?
What does that mean? I apologize.
So call up the SSA tomorrow, ask them what her date last insured is. If the date last insured is like, way back in time, so let's say 4 years ago, 5 years ago, things like that, then that's a problem. Let me ask you this. When did she stop working, doing payroll over the table?
She stopped working, so she had a stroke at 2018, so it was around 2019. January 2019 was the last time she worked.
When did she file for disability benefits?
We did once, like right after. We did the whole thing. We got to the first point of it. They declined. We didn't file for reconsideration after that 30-day mark at the time. So we reapplied again, starting from scratch. This was at the start of the pandemic, just before that. So it would be basically from the second case, it would be from 2020 till now.
So the old claim wasn't appealed, which kills the attachment back to that far. But even so, the new filing is more recent. And you're looking at, basically 2023, 2024. So you said 2028 was the last year that she officially worked, correct?
Yes, sir.
So her DLI is going to be too far backwards in time, which is going to kill her option for SSDI. But still, call them up and ask them what her DLI or date last insured is.
Okay. And could you I know you have a bunch of other callers. What exactly, once more, is date last insured? Like, could you explain it a little bit?
So imagine, no worries. So imagine you have a timeline in front of you where your left arm represents your birth and your right arm represents when you die. As you work across that timeline, you earn what are called quarters of coverage, and the little quarters that you can put on your belt. And when you get enough of them, then you start to become insured for disability insurance benefits. And when you stop working, right, you start to not have enough for when you get older and older and older. So the bottom line is, as a result of that, this is a situation where, just to be very clear, she hasn't worked recently enough because she's gotten older and not gotten more quarters of coverage. So you have to check and see how many quarters of coverage she has in the past so many years, because they require 20 quarters of coverage within the past 10 years to be covered for SSDI benefits.
I see. Because does it help at all? She worked from 18 basically to the stroke. So that would be about 50, 51.
Yeah.
If
So
that makes any
yeah,
reason,
that'll help. But it's not going. It's fine for retirement, but it's not necessarily going to help in this instance because she'll have quarters of coverage, but she won't have enough recent quarters of coverage.
Okay. I have one last question, and is for if she has SSI, would she be able to be approved for survivor's benefits and not get disability, or is it kind of like a package deal?
No,
Like
she can go on to survivor's benefits without SSDI. But remember, if you want to fix this whole SSDI thing, you got to find additional earnings, or she earned earnings more recently.
Okay. Okay, then what would help her case then? Would it be to kind of still try to work, or what would be like the best thing for her case? She, to be completely blunt, I don't think I'm trying to not even have her drive at this point, but what would help for her disability case?
Man, that's a huge, huge question. What I would say is this, like, and I'm getting huge questions tonight. If you want me to like review the situation, that's fine. But first, get me what her DLI is. That way I know kind of where she's at, because I need to know what her DLI is before I can kind of advise you on the next step.
Of course, and I genuinely appreciate all of this information you've given, by the way. You've been tremendous for the last few years. Thank you. Thank you, by the way.
Thank you, good sir. You have a wonderful, wonderful night, okay?
And you too. Take care. Bye.
Thank you so much, good sir. Bye-bye. Okay, so everybody, we're at 30 minutes, and I'm falling asleep. So catch up with me on two, and I see one person that I actually wanted to catch up with is calling me right now. There's two people, a female and a male. One's a security question, I'm sure, and the other one is a state of political system with Trump coming in situation. I do want to catch up with them, but I'm falling asleep. I'm literally falling asleep, and I had to drink a bunch of tea just to be able to go live tonight because I've been working kind of early. So I will catch you guys later. I will be live again on Monday. Please remember to like and subscribe. So if I helped you out with this, please don't be afraid to go to Google, type in Disability Resolution Law Firm or Disability Resolution Florida. Throw some reviews up there. I always appreciate that. Also, I go live on Mondays and Thursdays, and if you need a full hour, private sessions below. That's where you get me for a full hour. It's really an hour, 10 hour, 15 minutes. I always do extra. That way everybody feels like they got their hour. And basically what I do is throughout the week, when I have a lunch hour that's open, I put you in my lunch hour. All right. I will catch you a little bit later. You have a wonderful night. And thank you to everybody who called in. And I will catch you on Monday. Whew, I am tired tonight. I will catch you later. Have fun. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye.